right, here we are at the Crystal Clear Point Studio, and this is Deborah Colleen Rose with Miles of Smiles Events and Investigative Solutions Group, and I've got today my team, Crystal Teague at Baruti Spa, and Lou Ann Morris with Herbal Lou Apothecary. I can say that now, Apothecary. And our special guest today is Martha Decker, who is also a part of the team at DFW Paranormal Investigations. And yeah, we're either very good at what we do or we're nuts. We'll let you figure that one out. And today we're talking about an investigation that we did this weekend, and it was really a wonderful experience, and we wanted to share it all. So I'm going to turn it over to Martha and Lou Ann and let them kind of tell you what happened to us. Martha,
yes,
go ahead.
Martha, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, Deborah, I'm assuming it was Deborah who was contacted by this lady, and she's been public about it. She has posted something on her YouTube channel about it. So we can, talk about her. Her name's Mary E. Sims. She was just an absolute. Deborah was possibly concerned. We had her fill out. Deborah sent her a questionnaire that I usually take that questionnaire with me because, like, we were going through it from start to finish. But she had done the questionnaire, so I was going through and elaborate answers because they were very short, generic answers on a lot of it. Of course, while we're talking to her, we only didn't even finish the third page, and there's like 12 pages, because we realized this lady was a lot more than what she had put for her occupation. She had just put retired, and we get in there, we find out she's an artist, she's a published author, she's licensed massage therapist. She does Reiki. She does. She's a hypnotist. She does past life regressions, and she has had experiences her whole life. And she kept talking about Layla, who was kind of like a spirit guide, but it was Deborah who really was able to determine that was her angel, and who has guided her all throughout her life. That and God both have taken her through her journey. And she had contacted us about two annoying noises that she couldn't figure out. One sounded like marbles on a wood floor, hard floor, and the other, being rolled across the floor. And the other was a knocking on the wall in her bedroom. So y'all go from there.
Well, it was just amazing what we found out when we interviewed her. When Martha decided, well, we needed better answers on the questionnaire, and when you found out that she's just not retired, she's been in the metaphysical world probably all of her life. She has certainly been. I wouldn't call it
Well, she was definitely spiritual.
Thank you. Spiritual. That's what I'm trying to get at, because she she's had this friend Layla since she was young, 10, 8?
About 8 or 9, she said.
Yeah,
8 or 9. She's hearing voices. Now, okay, so let me throw a little piece of information in there because it is in her books and stuff. She is a recovering drug addict. And so, you're looking at all of these things and you're weighing all of that information. And when she first started talking about her background, being the normal paranoid private investigator that I am, I'm like, okay,
I don't know who you are, though.
Why is she trying to trick us? That was my first, because I'm in my logic mind right now at that point.
Block you. I don't.
Crystal, what are you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think somebody's in the process trying to hack my business account, so I'm just trying to block them. Sorry.
Okay.
Where they can get in there.
So, but the energy when you walked into her house, what did y'all think about the energy when we walked in?
I felt it, but it wasn't until we went in the apartment that it felt positive.
It did.
Yeah, I just felt like an awe. I felt like a melting thing. And just to kind of clarify this, we have a website up. This is how she contacted us, and she emailed me. And we get about 1 to 2 emails a week. And the first thing I do says, I'd like to know more about your situation. And I'm going to send you a questionnaire. Please answer the questions to the best of your ability and send it back to me. And they're very in depth. They're very thorough. We ask about their physical history, the history of what they're dealing with, the history of the house, if they know it. Yeah, I mean, it's very intense questions. And she's the first person in the past 6 months to answer the questionnaire and send it back. And I won't work with anyone if they don't answer the questionnaire, because if they can't take the time to do the questions, I'm not going out to their location, because we do this for free. We do the investigations for free. So I'm not going to put my time and effort into something they're not invested in as well. So go on, Luann, continue with that.
Well, she, Deborah finally connected with a friend of hers that has passed, that they were friends when they were 8, 9, 10 years old. And we discovered that this friend is the one that's trying to remind her of what she used to tell her when they were children. You need to pray to Jesus. That's what she would tell her.
Yeah.
And this friend protected her at school, gave her support at school, helped her get through whatever it was. I think she was afraid of the teacher. But it was just, we think that's where the knocking is coming from in her bedroom, is from this friend. So it was not anything, well, I guess it is supernatural because she's now a spirit, but it's not anything negative. It's not something that will harm her. It was just trying to get her attention.
Well, and she gets messages from at least 2 different locations or people that we're aware of. We have Layla, and then we had her friend. Now, what else was kind of interesting for me personally, because I like to look for things to validate what I'm doing, and to confirm that I'm not really crazy. And that gives me a little more confidence, is that as Martha is going through the questions and asking all those, I'm observing the client. I'm observing the atmosphere, seeing if I see anything, if I'm picking up, hearing anything. And I'm making notes of all of this so I can go back and refer to them. And in the corner of a page, I write, I see very large, gray, dark colored wings that remind me of a moth, but they're large. And then the upper corner of the dining room. And about 10 minutes later, she shares with us that her son had passed in this place, and that there had been a situation involving a moth that turned into bubbles. And I'm like, so I'm going to stop the conversation here. I want to share this with you. Does this seem to mean anything to you? And she goes, now, where did you see those wings? And I showed her where I saw the wings. It was right above the photograph of her son. And I could not see the picture that was hanging there, because the wall was going this way, and I'm sitting at a 45-degree angle to it. So there's no way I can see the photograph, and it's a big, huge one, but I still can't see it. So I took that as confirmation that I was in tune with not only her, but with the environment. And I think that also reassured her that we weren't nuts. So
Right. Like, I know I had made a comment that it's probably somebody trying to get your attention
yep.
with a knocking. Yeah.
I said that several times. And Layla came through real clear for me from the very beginning. And she didn't know. And Layla had been with her since she was 9, and had given her all kinds of information, and had kept her safe, and it had told her to do different things, and had kept her away from a man that would have attacked her and different things. So has been there with her all her life. And Mary is like most of the people I encounter, is that she's left the church. She's explored all kinds of philosophies in different religions. She's studied all kinds of things that, that for me kind of make me cringe a little bit until I know more what they mean. So I always ask them to define, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? And, sometimes people use these common terms like spells, rituals, things like that. And all they are just systematic routines that they have that help them connect with the divine. And it's not like they're practicing something bizarre that opens up a lot of doors for negativity. Did I say that well? Did I say that well?
Close enough for government work.
Yeah, good. Because I'm pretty open-minded about things, but at the same time, I'm also open-minded that if they don't know what they're doing and they're dabbling with stuff, that there's all kinds of things that we can encounter. And I go from one extreme to the other. I try to stay in the middle of the road, but I also know that a lot of things that happen also depend on the definitions that people put to their energies, and that they define them as much as the energies define the person. And you've got to meet them on their terms. But she was I felt very in tune with her.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at the picture of her with Luann and Martha on the couch that I posted on social media, you can see that everybody was real comfortable with her. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's happy.
I looked at that picture and I said, why am I not smiling? What's going on? I was trying not to cry. That's what I was doing.
Wow. So
She
you were
feels
that.
like you just wanted to pick her up and take her home with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
That's
a
the way I
very,
felt. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
don't feel that way that often with very many people.
No, I'm usually trying to hide. I'm running. But she did something that was really wonderful. I thought she had a book that she'd written that were stories of history that she said people had channeled through her that she had written about. So I am going to look for that book and buy it, because what I saw through there was interesting. I didn't get to read a lot of it. And she and I had in common that she likes to pick up rocks, but she really loves to pick up sticks. Not the game, but real, and they're branches that big around, that type of thing. And then she paints them and attaches shells and rocks and all kinds of, there's bells on them or crystals on the ends and stuff like that. And at first to me, I just assumed they were magic wands or something that she had made. And she goes, no, they're just sticks that I like, and they tell me how to decorate them, and I decorate them.
They were beautiful too.
Yeah.
They really were. So very interesting woman, and she was very open to learning new things. I'm not sure how much we could teach her. I feel like we brought her peace of mind. I feel like we offered up a value to her, but I really could sit and listen to her talk for hours, and that's saying a lot, because it's hard for me to sit and listen.
Me too.
Yeah, she was very interesting.
What was the magic moment for you, Martha?
I don't know. I think when it really clicked is when I looked at the back of her. Things were starting to click, but when I looked at the back of the book and saw more of who she really was, because, on there you asked, one of the questions is occupation, and she had just put retired. And so as I'm going through, like we got to a part where I said, see, it feels like I'm doing a jail book in, because you're asking such in-depth questions. But she talked about, that's when she started opening up, talking about her upholstery and drapery business that she had, talking about the two guys that she had rented a room to, and things started coming out more at that point, from her opening up. And then when I saw the true her on the back of the book, and she said she just didn't want to sound like she was bragging or doing anything like that, because if we had seen all that, we would have approached it probably a little bit differently than we it. And
Well, frankly, I would have been
approaching it,
I would have been more cautious. I would have been a lot more cautious. But at the same time, I would have been, I would have approached it from a whole different perspective of questions. And,
right.
you know, and there were some red flags in all transparency. There were some red flags on the questionnaire. She had studied voodoo, and she had said that she had had activity with the Ouija board. Well, that may mean something, it may not. It depends on the depth.
So that was it. When we started to go into, when I got to that point and started getting more information for us, going much more in depth about everything, it clarified it.
Yeah. She was not impressed with the Ouija board.
She goes, it didn't do anything.
Yeah. I don't know what she was expecting it to do immediately, but she was not impressed with that. And voodoo was more of a historical thing for her, of where because with her being a woman of color, she was looking at the history of her previous generations and things that had influenced them. And it was the impression I got, and had approached it from that viewpoint as well. And one of the commonalities that she and I shared is that we both had roots in the Pentecostal church. And she goes, now, you can't go there and get any support with this. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know you can't. And that was the reason why she had branched out into so many different religions. She studied Wicca. She's a Reiki master, which is a holistic healing thing for people that aren't familiar with that term. But I lost my train of thought, damn it.
Well, I know for me, it was when she made the connection. You had mentioned a childhood friend, and when she made the connection with her childhood friend that protected her, and I can't remember, Etha,
Urethra.
Aretha.
Yeah. And when she made that connection of talking about the knocks on the door, and she grabbed Luann and I, and she just was like, oh my God, just it was a light bulb moment for her too. And she knew exactly who that childhood friend was. When we had been, Deborah and I had been, we'd all been in the bedroom with her where it was. And then Deborah had left. Luann wasn't in there. It was just she and I in the bedroom. And that's when Deborah was doing some of her work. And when we came out of there, because Deborah's like, come here. It's like, yes, ma'am. Deborah,
I get excited.
And it was, and as soon as she said something, and then Deborah said something about childhood friend, and just that light bulb clicked in her mind. And then the Jesus comment and everything. I mean, she was so, you could see like the peace and everything in her when that clicked.
Well, I think I said something to the fact it's something she used to say to you all the time. And she goes, well, I don't know what that would be. And then she just starts talking. And she goes, she would always say, now, don't be afraid. You just pray to Jesus. And I'm like, is that what she said to you all the time? And she said, yeah, that's it. That's it. And I said, that's the message that she's trying to remind you of, because she knows what you're going through, and she knows how hard this is. She's in a lot of pain with health issues and things of that nature. But I love the stories where she talked about where Layla kept her safe. Layla helped her find her pills. Layla's always telling her where she put things down and picking and where to go. I'm pretty sure Layla helped her write some of those books based on what she was talking about.
Well, she said that one book was totally channeled.
Yeah, but she didn't say who channeled it. So
no.
But
it was just like she just didn't know where it came from, but it just kind of flowed out.
And what's really interesting too is that a gentleman bought her a computer and taught her how to use it. And she didn't really want to do that, but she was told, you need that computer, accept it. And she did. And she's real good at it because she has her own YouTube channel. And she's even talked about her experience with us on her YouTube channel, Martha said, already put that up. And she was keeping a diary, and her son read it. And he goes, Mom, he goes, I had no idea things were like this for you. You've got to write about it. So he's the one that encouraged her to write. and put the book together. And then she's done several other books since then as well. So, and the thing I loved about it is the few pages in each book I read, they're written very simply. There's a lot of dialogue. You can hear the voices talking in the dialogue because they're natural. It's not stilted. And I just, I don't know.
When you were talking about childhood friend and this stuff, remember the light bulb, and she talks about one of the book called Confessions that was written about her friend.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It's so funny though. I love watching Martha because Martha takes the lead when we go anywhere, and she immediately goes into cop mode, and we're gonna get the answers to these questions. And if I interrupt her, and I do, because I got, something will hit my head when they say something. She goes, Deborah, I got to get through my questions. We're going to get through these questions.
But what happens is if we're going through that questionnaire, the stuff you're talking about is in that questionnaire. But if there's something I want to write down, so let's just kind of go, in order, skip things or whatever we need to. But let's, get to what you're talking about so that we're there. So I can see what she put to begin with.
Yeah. And it's fabulous. Keep us on task. It keeps us focused. It keeps it flowing. But I've never seen Martha do this before. I guess we're only about halfway through. She goes, oh, we don't need this anymore. She just throws them down on the table. We're done with those things.
Okay, we're done.
For whatever reason, Martha had all the answers she needed.
Well, we didn't need to ask her any questions. We knew what was going on. At least I did. I think you did too. I think both of you did.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true. So we did get equipment out. I want to make that clear. This wasn't just like a free for all, and everybody had a great feeling, and we called it quits. We did pull out equipment and did a walk through the place. I used dowsing rods as my tool of choice, and so I was using the dowsing rods. We were measuring EMF. We had like 4 or 5 devices out, and every once in a while we would hit an area where it would really peak and then it would go away. So it's almost like they were kind of moving through the place, but nothing negative, nothing that felt out of sorts or like it didn't belong there. A lot of high energy. I mean, the minute I walked in, my hair started raising up. My hair's frizzy anyway, but when it starts standing up like a lot of electrical, static electricity, I know we're in for a ride. So what do you think, Luann?
There was lots of energy going on because I felt it before I even got to the porch.
Well, Luann cracks me up because she's like a little angel here on earth herself, because when we're in positive energy, she just kind of radiates and she's all smiles, and it's almost like she's going to lay down the floor and kick her feet and goo, because she's just like a little happy baby.
Well, you want to go into the situation with no preconceived notions. I think that's why I didn't even read the questionnaire, because I didn't really, I read the part where she said retired. She gave us so little information. And that's why when she started saying, oh yeah, I did this. Well, yeah, I did that too. Oh, before that, well, I was a massage therapist. And we're like, lady, you are not just retired. and it was, I don't know, you just immediately knew by all the things that she had told you. And I mean, writing a book is, even though it's small, is not a simple thing.
No, it's not.
No,
it's
she's done 7. She's done 7.
And I've only added my chapter to 2 books, and I thought I was, oh my God. So I don't know. Deborah, you've written more books. Martha, you too, but I'd never written a whole book myself, so I was impressed. And she was just matter of fact. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that.
What I found striking to me was, I'm not going to call it a contradiction, but definitely a yin and yang. She said that she had not really traveled more than 20 miles from where she was born in Dallas her whole life.
Right.
And in many ways, she was very naive I guess is the word I want to use, because when she was talking about her upholstery shop, she said she rented it to two men, and one of them was a transvestite, but she didn't know that until her son told her that. And and I'm just thinking, how do you, because if you're addicted to drugs and you're using street drugs, that's a rough world. And there's all kinds of exposure to all kinds of different cultures. And it's not limited to the poor. You have rich people. I mean, there's a famous musician that I used to run into at the crack houses in South Dallas when I would go looking for my then boyfriend, because he had an addiction problem. And I never saw him in concert, but I got to see him play in one of those houses, and it was awesome. So, but at the same time, she was very naive and very innocent. But on a wisdom level, oh my God. I mean,
Very wise.
quotes, she
Well,
could quote
she did
so
say,
many.
I'm sorry, she did say that her drug issues were early in her lives, though.
Yes.
And before she had a family, because her kids knew nothing about it.
Right. Right.
If I can add something to the conversation, because this is a little bit of experience that I have that kind of touches on this. When you are doing certain types of drugs, especially at an early age, before the age of 25, when your brain chemistry is being formatted, it can actually radically alter and open your channels to where you are seeing these things and perceiving them more readily. So it could very well, she had a natural gift that, the drug use probably enhanced. And then when she stopped over time, it just grew and grew and grew. So like I said, I wasn't there, so I didn't get to experience all this wonderful magical things there. But I do know that, drug use or hallucinogens can actually just blow holes in your aura and just really let things, even for people who are not naturally perceptive, they will start to perceive things and think that they're going crazy, as it were. So that's my 2 cents that I can add.
No, I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right. And I experienced that with my husband that passed when I was in my 20s. He was very intuitive. He was very spiritual, but it was off the charts as his addiction escalated when he was sober. And I could see the difference, And then the other side of that coin is that I am a firm believer that most people with extreme mental health issues, that they just blow that veil apart. And a lot of times when they think that they're hearing things or seeing things,
They are.
hallucinations, they are, and it has nothing to do with their illness. And I have seen that firsthand. And Sharon Cody, who was my partner at the Council of Families for Children, our centers, witnessed it there with me as well, many times with people that we were working with. So, there is no black and white. There is no, definitive lines when we're dealing with spirituality. And it's just a matter of what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And we were willing to accept her, and she was willing to accept us. And I think we all felt blessed, is the bottom line.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
So, Martha, can you tell everybody where her YouTube channel is, since you've already seen it? I have not seen it yet.
Well, it's called Mary's World, but I just went into YouTube and did a search of Mary Sims or Mary E. Sims. I'm not sure which way I put it, and it popped right up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've worked this to death, and this is going to be a short podcast today. And we'll I'm thinking about doing a daily quote for the day, just to get on here and bug everybody once a day, but I'll work on that later. But so we'll just go around my corners, Luann, and then Crystal, and then Martha. Tell everybody who you are, where they can find you, and we'll go ahead and close out for the day.
I am known by Herbal Lou's Apothecary.
Spell that.
HERBALLUAPOTGCARY, Apothecary. My website is herbal-lou.com, and I'm also on Facebook, Herbal Lou. And my email is herballou1105@gmail.com.
All right, Miss Crystal.
Oh, I am newly relocated to 613 Main Street for the physical spa. It's we're still unpacking and doing things, but it's coming along.
Can I
A
just
lot
say
of
this? It's gorgeous. It is so comfortable in there. It's so relaxing. And I'm going to get my first facial in that location Thursday, and I can't wait.
very soon, yes. And then we are on Instagram at Baruti_spa, and then on facial Facebook.com/Baruti spa. And then I have a quick little quote of the day.
Yay.
Shit happens. If it doesn't, make it. If you can't make it, fake it. You can't fake it, fuck it and move on.
Now, Baruti is on Main Street in Garland, right across from Dos Banderas. So you can go and get a facial, you can do a little shopping, you can go have margaritas. It's a full day experience if you plan properly. So, and the one thing that she has is a great line of products, great line of makeups, and wonderful candles. And hey, I didn't know this, but I have one of those candles here.
Yeah, I gave you one. Or no, your husband bought one for you at Scarborough. It's a gift.
Yes, I have one, and it's wonderful. She has these fabulous. They're hand poured
Hand poured.
wax.
Yeah, I discovered them several years ago out at Scarborough Fair, and they're a small mom and pop company. They're the last larger manufacturer that hand pours candles start to finish. Most of the other candles are all machine poured and stuff like that. So it's got a homey feel. And once I get through signing on the dotted line later this week and sending them a big fat check, digitally, that is, I will be the only distributor in the DFW area.
Wow.
So it'll be really nice. So we'll see how it goes. I love the candles. They're long burning. They're all but one of them are 100% all natural ingredients. There's no artificial aromas. The only one that has an artificial aroma is the leather rose. And that's because there's no such thing as a
Oh, it
natural
smells so
leather
good,
essential
though.
oil, unfortunately.
smells
But they're all really good. Thank you for that shout out, Deborah. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm liking the new place. I'm liking the new energy. It feels more like a traditional spa. I did my first speaking engagement today at a school in North Dallas. So hopefully we'll be seeing some classes from that and that sort of thing. I'm also a Reiki master teacher. So if anybody wants attunement to that or wants more information, reach out and we'll hook you up.
Well, let me elaborate on that just for a second. So when Miss Crystal does her facials, it is an experience. You're not just getting your skin cleansed and then patted, and I mean, we do all that, okay? But you're getting so much more. She's putting energy into it. There's essential oils that are worked into this. It's, for me, it is more relaxing than a full body massage because of the energy involved, the quietness, the way she just talks to you during it. There's certain things that she says to you to put you in a good state of mind. And Crystal's been a teacher for years, and has many people in the DFW area under her tutelage. So she's our new it girl in Garland. So we are moving up in the world.
I don't
And
know about it,
so,
girl, but thank you.
well, and so here's the deal. We're going to be in a contest. I'm so damn excited. I nearly tinkle when I think about it. We're going to do a regiment that she designs for me, and we're going to make my luscious skin look even more luscious. And we're going to enter that progress into a contest, and then we're going to go to Atlantic City because we're going to win this thing.
The International Skin Games is what we're doing. Yeah.
Yes, we are. We're going to win, and I'm going to win because I look great. I get a trip out of it. I get to spend time with Miss Crystal, and everyone gets to see the new me in 6 months. So I'm excited.
So I want to do it too, but I want her to work on my blemishes.
Well,
I know you can't see them right now, but all down my face here, all up my
pigmentation
face.
issues. Well, there's different categories I can enter. I can enter age management, which is the one that I'm going to do with Deborah. There's also a pigmentation category. There's a holistic category. There's several different categories, and this is a put before an international audience of estheticians. So what we have to do is we have to do a weekly video posting our progress, talk about what we did in there, things like that. And there's actually even an award for best video. So we'll see how that goes. But there's different categories.
If you let me talk, we'll win the best videos. If you let me talk.
Okay.
No,
All right, that's enough about me, but thank y'all for giving me a few minutes of equal time. I appreciate y'all today. Y'all just don't know.
We love you. We love you. All right, Martha,
Yeah.
tell them where they can find you. Out in the
Okay, you
piney
can find
woods of
me,
East Texas, running with the
well, not the
goats.
Piney
No.
Woods, not the Piney Woods, but almost. I'm at the entrance to East Texas. I'm
Yes.
over on, yeah, over around between Kaufman and Athens, over in the Cedar Creek Lake area. But you can find, well, one, I'm also an author, so you can find my books at Amazon and a bunch of other places under Martha Hazard Decker. I'm on,
She's a
I'm on
hazard.
Facebook, yeah, with 2 Z's too. And you can, so you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, on most of the social media. I try to, post things on different ones because I work with different people. I do a lot of radio and podcasts. I've been on like Portals to Hell, Death Walker, several other TV shows. That one was with, of course,
Jack Osborne.
Jack Osborne. Yeah, the others with Nick Groff. I may be on another one. They're talking again. There's one that Robbie Thomas, a psychic out of Canada, has a show that I will be in, one of the main people in it. Once it doesn't just get signed, but actually starts to tape. And the name right
Are you
now
going to
for
take
it
your
is,
#1 fan with you to be there and to help
No.
you?
oh yeah,
No.
my sister wants the same thing.
Family don't count.
And but he's been working on this thing for many, many years. And like years before Dead Files was on TV, we'll say. And I've been along. I just got a phone call from him one day, and he said, "Do you want to be on our Texas episodes?" And then that turned into they wanted me on every episode. So
That's awesome.
if that happens, that'll be fantastic. He's running it right now under the name of Psychic Profiler, but we'll don't know what the final name would be. It's up to the networks. I've got besides the speaking, I speak at a lot. Well, I speak at a lot of conferences. This fall, I will be in Arkansas, in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the Arkansas Paranormal Expo. I'm going to be in Oklahoma, somewhere.
You need to put these on your
November.
website. I'm going to just keep telling you so over and over again. Put them on your website, then we can put the links up. So
I know. I try to remember. It's on my Facebook. I post all that on the Facebook. I'll be in Jefferson in November. I'll be in October. I'll be at Haunted Hill House, at an event that Ghost Hunter Girls and Paraflix is putting on. I try to keep them all on there because there's more and I can't remember. But you can find me pretty much just about anywhere. I'm not hard to find.
well, if you'll send them, I'll put them on the paranormal website, the DFW Paranormal Investigations. Oh, that was another thing. They wore their t-shirt Saturday and I forgot to wear mine.
Right. And so, yeah, well, that's it. And so I've got, with you with the DFW Paranormal Investigations, but I also have East Texas Paranormal, and I've had that for quite a few years. And, Deborah's went down to San Antonio with me. That one, it depends on what it is and where it is for who I may call, because we cover everything from Bigfoot to aliens. Speaking of aliens, I'm halfway through my field investigator training for MUFON. So I have that I'll have probably in the next week or two. I should have that all finished.
Well,
And,
speaking of aliens, I am one, so I'll be hiding from Martha because I don't want to be investigated.
hey, I already know where you live.
All right, so I'm Deborah Colleen Rose, and I try to herd this group as much as possible, but it's like herding cats, as you can see when you watch this show. It is. You can find me at isgu.com. That's my regular private investigations. The DFW Paranormal Investigations is our paranormal group. We do the basic investigation for free. If we have to go in there and work up a sweat though, then there is a charge. But you know, that was another thing. Mary was shocked. She tried to pay us. I'm like, well, no, this is free. We do this for free. And so she was shocked to hear that as well. But Miles of Smiles Events is the company that sponsors this podcast, and we do interactive entertainment. We tell fortunes, tea leaves, palms, cards. We do kiss readings, handwriting analysis, and anything else you can think of that would be fun at a party. If I don't know how to do it, we know someone that does. So anyway, we will see y'all next week. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Peace, love, and hair
Bye.
grease, y'all.